In the end, how close was this vote, Fred?
It wasn't close at all, Andrew. I just got the most recent tally just now, and of the 538 members of Parliament who were voting on all of this, 439 said yes, 119 said no, and 40 abstained from the vote. Those 40 mostly from the Green Party. Many of them said that they would abstain from the vote. The no votes coming mostly from the left-wing party. So far, the votes haven't actually been tallied. It was a vote by name, so at some point we're going to find out how many members of Angela Merkel's governing coalition actually did not vote for this measure. There were some who said that they would vote against it, some very prominent members of the coalition, in fact. Now, Angela Merkel, in the speech running up to this vote, was adamant about the fact that there was no alternative to this plan. She said that a Grexit is not something that she believed was in the cards or could be in the cards, and she kept talking about the solidarity within Europe. Let's listen into what Angela Merkel had to say.
No matter how large the differences are, we are going to engage and get involved in overcoming Greece's problem, because the EU and the euro is not only a currency, it is the fundamental concept of European unity. And the fact that Europe has become a community combined in good and bad fortunes, and that those bad and good fortunes cover all countries and go across borders, that is a fact.
That's Angela Merkel there speaking earlier today. And of course, there were several points of contention. On the one hand, you have the opposition parties, especially the left-wing party, who felt that the conditions that were placed on the Greeks are simply too tough. Especially the most left-wing party in German parliament is affiliated with Greece's Syriza party. And then, of course, as we've been talking about, there were those who felt that this goes too far, that Germany is offering up too much help for the Greeks. There's many who believe that even this new bailout package, where the negotiations are going to start very soon, that even that will not solve the Greek debt crisis, and that, in fact, there might have to be a haircut for the Greeks. So certainly Angela Merkel taking flack from both sides, very concerned about the conservative members within her own parliamentary faction. However, the vote itself, not even close, Andrew.
And she's also been taking flack, hasn't she, across Europe about her stand, particularly from many people saying that Germany should have offered some sort of debt relief because there just is no end in sight for the Greek pain without debt relief. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen, obviously, Fred. But I wonder, how damaged has Mrs. Merkel been by this politically? Is she a diminished figure politically now in Germany?
I don't think she's a diminished figure at all. I think that this, the people in her faction who voted against this is a setback for her. I don't think that it diminishes her standing here within Germany. I don't think that it diminishes the power that she currently has, also in light of the fact that there really isn't much of a political alternative to Angela Merkel here at this point in time. If you look at the opinion polls in Germany, then her party, the CDU and CSU, are at about 42%, and the next closest party is at about 23. So still, it doesn't damage her in the long term. However, one of the things that many believe is that it has damaged Germany's standing within Europe. I mean, you were talking about the fact that Germany was heavily criticized in places like France, in places like Italy as well, of course, in places like Greece as well. And there were German members of parliament who were also saying, look, we don't like the stance that Germany is taking, where it appears as though it's a more selfish stance, possibly a less European, a less pro-European stance than we've seen before. So this is certainly something where they believe that this has done a lot to undermine Germany's position and its popularity within Europe. And there are Germans who are very, very concerned about that, Andrew.